The Prime Minister has said that she wants unity, and she has said that she wants an end to division, and she intends to do that by crushing opposition, with political opponents described as saboteurs, something I invited her earlier to take a distance from, but she was not prepared to. This is not a vision or an understanding of mainstream democracy that I share with the Prime Minister. For months we have heard from her that now is not the time for the public to vote, that no one wants it, that it's important to get on with the day job. We've been told that the Prime Minister needs to concentrate all of her time on Brexit negotiations and that nothing should get in the way. But now, as we have all learned in the last 24 hours, all of that was empty rhetoric. And there are two key reasons why there is going to be a general election. And the first is totally politically expedient. It is about the woeful, unelectable state of the Labour Party. And that is a reason of political expediency to hold an election. It is about not wanting to repeat the political error that Gordon Brown made. And the Prime Minister wants to receive her own electoral mandate and crush political opposition in England. The second reason for holding an early general election is that it's finally dawned on the UK government that the Brexit negotiations are going to be very, very difficult. And the realities of the hard Brexit that the Prime Minister is pursuing has not yet fully dawned on the public. And as one commentator wrote, just in a moment, if I can make some progress on this point, as one commentator wrote today, the EU is not going to roll over and give the UK free and frictionless access to the internal market. The Prime Minister is cutting and running, getting a vote in before the reality of hard Brexit hits home. And can I tell the Prime Minister that while she thinks that she can get her way with all of this against the Labour Party in England, she will not get away with this in Scotland.
I thank him for giving way. On the subject of hard Brexit, does he agree with me that it is incumbent on those who are advocating it to set out very clearly what their assessment of the impact on jobs is going to be of us coming out of the single market and the customs union?
Of course, that would be an opportunity in a normal general election campaign where party leaders actually debate the issues and their record for them to add. But there's been an interesting development since the debate. So I've noticed colleagues looking at their mobile phones, because ITV's confirmed that there is going to be a leaders' debate. And I'm just interested, I'm looking around, there are a number of other party leaders in the chamber. I'm looking at the leader of the opposition. Is the leader of the opposition intending to take part in the debate? I suspect he probably will take part in a television debate. No doubt the leader of the Liberal Democrats and the leader of the Green Party and colleagues. I'll make my point here. It is unsustainable in the 21st century, in the multimedia age, to go to the country and not to debate the leaders of the notion that the UK Prime Minister might be empty-chaired because she's not prepared to stand up for her arguments is just not sustainable. Perhaps she would wish that the honourable gentleman who's seeking to intervene might take her place instead.
As I said in the House with the Speaker yesterday, I hope that the Prime Minister does go head-to-head with the leaders of other parties. It's quite simple, Mr. Speaker. She would floor them all.
No, she wouldn't. I don't think she would manage that with Nicola Sturgeon. But I am surprised, and I welcome what the honourable gentleman had to say in encouragement to the Prime Minister, because I think the public deserves a debate, more than one debate, during the election campaign, and I think the Prime Minister should have some more confidence in herself. I think she should be prepared to address the country and to debate the ideas that all the different political parties across the UK have. But we have already learned, of course, in Scotland, that the Prime Minister is prepared to ignore the mandate and wishes of the Scottish electorate, of the Scottish Parliament, and of the Scottish Government. So why would anyone in Scotland, I need to make some progress, so why would anyone in Scotland vote for such a dismissive and disrespectful party and Prime Minister? I need to make some progress. Time is limited. I will try and take some interventions later. The Prime Minister promised that she would have a unified approach with all the devolved governments, an agreement, before triggering Brexit. She didn't. She broke her word. And as we have learnt in recent weeks in connection with the appalling rape clause, the one thing that the Scottish Tories don't like talking about is Tory policy. But this election will highlight the dangers to Scotland of unfettered Tory Westminster government. And we live in one of the most unequal countries in the developed world, but the Tories want to make it even more unfair. Experts say that their policies will cause the largest increase in inequality since the days of Margaret Thatcher. They want to, happy to give way to the Leader of the Greens.
I'm grateful to him for giving way. Does he agree with me that if this election is, as the Prime Minister says, about a more secure future for this country, if it is an election of such national significance, we should have an urgent change in the law to give Britain's 1.5 million 16 and 17-year-olds a say in what will be very much their future on the 8th of June?
As somebody who gave his maiden speech about enfranchising 16 and 17-year-olds, I totally agree with the Honourable Lady. It is again unsustainable that young people have been given the vote for some elections and referenda, but should be denied it in others. I return to I give way to the Honourable Gentleman.
Most grateful to the right honourable gentleman giving way. He will be aware that the Supreme Court made it abundantly clear, and all the judges decided on a unanimous basis, that issues concerning Brexit negotiations should be determined by this House, which represents the whole of the United Kingdom, and that this was not an issue to be decided by any of the devolved institutions. Which bit of that does the right honourable gentleman have a problem in understanding?
The thing I have a difficulty understanding is the commitment that the Prime Minister gave. She gave it when she came to Edinburgh. It was on the front page of the House Journal of the Conservative Party, the Daily Telegraph. It was there in terms that she wanted to seek a UK-wide approach, an agreement with the government. So the honourable gentleman might wish to rewrite history, but the Prime Minister gave a commitment to reach an agreement. She did not reach an agreement. Mr. Speaker, the Fixed Term Parliament Act was supposed to stop political parties abusing their position and putting party before country. Today, the Tories are going to do just that, and sadly, the Labour Party is going to vote with the Tories and make life easy for them. We on these benches will not vote with the Tories, but given the realities that the Labour Party is going to be voting with the Tories, there will be a general election, and boy, we look forward to that. Because in Scotland...
We're not dancing to your tune. Mr. Morris, normally you've got a very emollient manner. You're a very restrained individual, bordering upon the cerebral. But you become rather overexcited. Calm yourself. Take some sort of soothing medicament. It will have a beneficial impact upon you. Mr. Angus Robertson.
Very much, Mr. Speaker. In Scotland, the general election will be a two-horse race. It'll be a straight fight between the SNP and the Tories. And do I think that mainstream Scots, regardless of whether they voted Remain or Leave, will vote for a hard Tory Brexit? No, I don't. Will most mainstream Scots vote for more austerity and cuts to public services? No, I don't. And will most Scots vote for a party that is actively undermining the mandate already given by the voters in a Scottish general election for people in Scotland to determine their own future? No, I do not. We on these benches will work hard for every vote in every seat in Scotland. And, Mr. Speaker, we look forward to defeating the Tories in this general election.